Okay, here we are at Hemingway's, and there's the multi-toed cat. Got the good life.
Those are big paws.
Yeah. Where are you, Beverly?
I don't know which room this is, but it's certainly the entry room to Ernest Hemingway's house.
Good.
And I have the microphone here. I'm going to
When
interview
was
some folks.
When was he living in?
When he was alive.
Okay. Is that the Sloppy Joe guy that was?
We all in? Not quite. I think we're going to make it. Hemingway, the way Key West would actually remember him. Early 30s, athletic, debonair young writer. He is surrounded there by his accumulation, if I may, of ex-wives. To briefly run you through those, wife number one, Hadley Richardson. They met and married in Chicago in 1921. He was working as a reporter for the newspaper there. Then a short stay in Canada, where they had their son John, then on to Paris to launch his writing career. But about 5 years into that crazy Paris scene, Hadley made a little mistake. She had what she thought was a very good friend there, fashion writer for Paris Vogue magazine, Pauline Pfeiffer. She introduced Pauline to her Ernest, and that's about the last she saw of those two. Pauline hooked on to him, married him, and brought him back to America. They bought this old house. She is the culprit that did away with all of the ceiling fans. While I'm on that sore subject, her favorite chandelier, hand-blown Venetian glass imported from the island of Murano. I'm told that is a rare and priceless piece. Priceless to me would be to see Pauline reincarnated and working here as a summertime tour guide. Pauline and Ernest lived here 9 years. During that time, they had those two sons, Patrick and Gregory. Gregory is the one holding the cat. The cat's name was Snowball. I have a lot to tell you about that busy little character when we get out into fresh air. 5 years before Pauline and Ernest divorced, the island was visited by Martha Gellhorn, a writer from Collier magazine, sent here to interview Ernest Hemingway. When Martha arrived on our island, she didn't bother to call for an appointment. She simply changed into her cutest little summer outfit, patiently waited down here at Sloppy Joe's bar. It all worked very nicely. He was in that very evening for happy hour. They caught each other's eye immediately. There was a lot of magnetism between those two. Their quote-unquote interviews went on for 5 years. 1940, Pauline caught on. There would be an immediate divorce. 2 weeks later, he married his Martha and moved off to Cuba. We understand that Martha and Ernest were just ecstatically happy there in Cuba for about 2 months. Unfortunately, that stormy marriage raged on almost 5 years. It ended in a bitter divorce. Then in 1945, while he was in London working as a war correspondent, fate smiled on him. He found this writer from Time magazine, Mary Welch. They married in '46, the one he should have found the first 3 times through. Mary stayed by his side till she became his widow, his longest marriage, over 16 years. As we move along with our tour, the furniture you'll be looking at, 17th and 18th century Spanish antiques, mostly walnut. Ernest loves paint. From here, we'll move our tour to the master bedroom upstairs. On the way, there's a deacon's bench here in the hallway. Be sure to give that a look. And if anybody would like to complete the tour on your own, please feel free to do so. We don't mind, just enjoy the home. Hope to see you upstairs.
Little cat cases. Well, that's a playground.
Smile.
They ate out a lot.
Wasn't much of a kitchen, was it?
There you go. There's a guy that's touring there in about 4 minutes.
Look how narrow this is.
You're welcome to walk around and see. You're welcome to walk around and
This railing right here does not look like original.
Do you want to do that? I will.
I'd like to introduce you nice people to two of my friends and co-workers here. This little gray one is Hurricane Francis. She was born during that storm, so we gave her that name. That's Marlene and Dietrich. Both of them are 6-toed wonders. Up to about 12 weeks ago, that spot would have been full of a big orange tomcat by the name of Archie. True story on Archie and I. About 6 years ago, I had his room absolutely full of nice folks from China. Archie was laying right there, so sound asleep he couldn't even see him breathe. So for grins, I introduced him as one of Hemingway's original cats, stuffed and put on the bed for display. About halfway through my talk with those nice folks, Archie stood up and sneezed. You ever heard of a Chinese fire drill? That tour was over. Hemingway lacked a half inch of standing an even 6 foot tall. He would weigh in at 200 pounds. He called his time here his insomnia years. A lot of that would be the manic depression that plagued him his whole life through. Some of it was size and sleeping arrangements. Big beds were not available for big people in the 30s. This is a pair of twins. They cleverly fastened together here to enhance the bed size. A headboard that wide was not available. They were in Spain one afternoon cooling off at a monastery. This hand-carved walnut garden gate caught their eye. They weren't sure that 17th century gate was going to be quite wide enough, so when they brought it home, they brought the 2 gate posts along with it. If you look closely, you'll see hinges on my side, a latch over there. Enterprising way to make a headboard, and I think a beautiful piece of furniture. Our deacon's bench downstairs is from the same monastery and the same time period. They look almost like matching pieces. That brings me to Pauline's contribution. Here at the foot of the bed, we have a pair of 17th century walnut chairs from Spain. Those are a set that actually belong together. A high-back chair with the 4 legs would be called a midwife's chair. That 3-legged thing is just what you're thinking, a birthing stool. His favorite piece of furniture. He had that with him just about everywhere he went. The Omni Rascal enjoyed carrying that into the bullfights to set on, just for the shock effect it would have on folks around him. Here on the island for a very short time, he tried to use that for a fishing chair on the afterdeck of his boat Pilar. That would very soon be changed to a bolted down, custom-made fish fighting chair. I have a picture of the fish that taught him that little lesson in the next room.
Oh, I love that. Wraps around.
Obviously had a whole hat.
That's a